Welcome to the Top Shelf Grumbling Podcast with Dan the Don Walls. This episode is brought to you by our sponsors. Lawn Hub for all your lawn care needs. Price Cutter, best meat in town, Hale State. Russell Motors, go see Austin, he's got what you need. Butcher Block Restaurant, voted Best Biscuit and Best Breakfast 2025. Available wherever you get your podcasts, coming to you from the Wilder Fitness Studio. Presenting a Where You Media production, this is Top Shelf Grumbling.
Welcome back to Top Shelf Grumbling, folks. The Don is riding solo tonight. Had a death in the family. Our producer's mother-in-law suddenly passed away, so I'm keep them in your prayers. And I'm like I said, I'm flying solo tonight. Let's see. Gonna talk a little bit about everything tonight. And this is kind of we're going to start transitioning into baseball. Starting next week, we're going to start doing, like I said, we'll have 2 shows a week, Monday and Thursday, I think, something like that. But one day next week, we're going to do a big baseball preview show, the whole 9 yards, every SEC team. We're going to talk about it. That'll be a good one, so be sure to catch that. I think David Johnson, hopefully, I think he's going to join us for that as well too. Gonna be a fun year of baseball. Let's start off tonight. Let's talk about the Super Bowl for a little bit. I got a bunch of bets I'm gonna put out too, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. Bad Bunny is doing the halftime show. I never heard of this guy. I think he's the guy until I heard about doing the halftime show. I usually don't watch the halftime shows. What I like to watch is about 1998 or 1999. The Rock and Mankind fought during the Super Bowl halftime. I think it was the Falcons and the Broncos Super Bowl in 98 or 99, like I said. And I just always YouTube that. It's available on YouTube. It's a good watch. They fight in the empty arena, The Rock and Mankind. So that's what I'm going to be watching for the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't usually bet big on the Super Bowl, the spread wise, because it's just this year especially. It's 2 even teams. A lot of folks, all you hear is about how good the Seahawks are. These 2 teams are pretty darn even. I'm kind of leaning towards. I'm going to pick New England. I'm going to do it right now. I'm picking New England to win the game. But it's going to be a very close game, I think. But I would definitely take the points. But I'm probably not going to bet the points. But I got a lot of prop bets I'm going to give out here in a second. People also are talking about the Patriots have played a really easy schedule. And while that maybe is true, first of all, there's no easy wins in the NFL. So I really don't like that argument, number one. Number two, 7 out of the last 10 Super Bowl champions have had bottom 10 schedules. So, in other words, the schedule, them having an easy schedule don't mean a lick of a hill of beans. I'm gonna go with the Patriots. That's what I'm not gonna bet it but I'm picking them to win. Let's move along here. I'm gonna give out my my prop bets that I got out first. Like I said, I don't usually bet the spread big much in these Super Bowl games. Lady Rebs are playing right now, and by the way, in a close game against Alabama. It's on SEC Network. Starting off, I have the Patriots to score in every quarter. That plays out pretty good odds, by the way. The Patriots to score in every quarter. I bet this, too. The team that wins the coin toss to also win the game. So I don't know, whoever wins the coin toss, that's who my bet's going to be. The national anthem, this is always a fun bet. I bet the over 123 seconds. And I was looking today, most of the time, there's only been like, out of the 60 years of the national anthem singing, there's only been a handful of times that it's went under 120 something seconds. And most of those were trumpet national anthems. So I took the over in the anthem. Also, I got a Bad Bunny to come out wearing a white shirt in his first song. I bet for the third quarter to be the highest scoring quarter in the game. I bet the fourth quarter to be the lowest scoring quarter in the game. I took Drake May at almost 2-1 odds to win the MVP. I took also at 2-1 odds the colored Gatorade to be poured on the coach, orange. I got heads on the coin toss. I have Bad Bunny to be wearing no hat during his first song. And I also have both quarterbacks to throw at least one interception. May to throw one interception. Donald to throw at least one interception. I put a bunch of golf bets in too. I posted them on the Twitter and Facebook. And it's already started. So I'm really not going to... the bets I put in looking okay. It's only the first day. And stay tuned. So I'm gonna be this tournament. This golf tournament's going on all weekend, and I'm gonna be putting out a lot of bets on it. So I'll be pay attention to Facebook and Twitter. Let's see here. Speaking of golf, we're gonna keep talking about golf for a minute. This is one of my favorite tournaments of the year. This Phoenix tournament. You can watch it all day Sunday. It kind of leads up into the start of the Super Bowl. Scotty Scheffler, folks, he was plus 175 to win this tournament. He had a terrible day today. Shot like a couple over par. But the next closest odds to win was 20-1 by Xander Schauffele. So think about that. Scotty Scheffler was plus one. That's almost even money to win a golf tournament. That's like Tiger Woods. That's Tiger Woods territory. Now look, he's no Tiger Woods yet, but Scotty is or Jack Nicklaus. Scotty Scheffler is well on his way to being the next Tiger Woods. And it's hard to win. Don't kid yourself. It's hard to win on tour now than it ever has been. Scotty's been playing as good as anybody's ever been playing ever for the past couple of years. Like I said, he's got a long way to catch Jack and Tiger, but he's getting there. Looking forward to watching this tournament this weekend. It's always a fun tournament. They get crazy on 16. People are passing out dead drunk at 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. Talk a little bit about Ole Miss golf, the men and the women. The men are starting the season off in the top 10. Look, Chris Malloy is a great coach. He had an individual national champion last year. The team almost won the whole thing too. It's not going to be long before he kicks the door in, and it may be this year. Like I said, top 10 preseason. Their first tournament is here in a week or two at Florida State at Sharktooth, the course Sharktooth, and it's they've had a tournament down there for a while. It's pretty much the best ACC teams and the best SEC teams are in this tournament, and they'll get the season started off with that. Like I said, top 10 team, Rebel Golf, men's golf. And the women, they're ranked 14th nationally. and they just had the top three. Their season's already started, the spring season. They just had a top three finish in Puerto Rico last weekend with a very stacked field. So that's going to be interesting to watch this year. Look, we're going to talk about every sport on here. And that's another thing, too, about Ole Miss 365, David Johnson. He prides himself on a different sport, different day, every day. And we're like that. We've always been like that. I've always been like that. I mean, whatever's in the season, I played it when I was growing up, and whatever's in the season, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk, like I said, baseball, and we're going to talk a lot of golf on here, too. Let's see, moving along here. Moving along. All right, let's talk a little bit about the sorry-ass NCAA. And I wouldn't look. Trinidad got denied his appeal today. I wasn't looking for him to win that appeal today either. Screw the NCAA. But we're gonna win in court. Trinidad Chambers, I'm fairly damn confident he will be your starting quarterback if you're an Ole Miss fan and to start the 2026 season. We will win in court. I feel like Pittsburgh. I think it's court dates next a week from. I think it's next Thursday. And look, folks, and if he does lose this waiver, we have he's not going to lose this waiver. But if he were to somehow or another, we've got a damn good backup plan in Deuce Knight. He's a little raw still, but we'd be fine with him. Look, the NCAA, the calendar's garbage. How they've let everything just run wild is garbage. All these big schools and conferences are going to have to come together and agree on some freaking rules and fix this crap. Like, we talked about that before. Like, this transferring 7 or 8 times has got to stop. You can only transfer one time without penalty, without having to sit out a year. And that would just stop a lot of it right there. But anyway, that's a whole different episode. By the way, the national media hates us, and by God, we hate them too. We probably don't really hate them enough. The way they cover this Clemson stuff, the Clemson BS, and the way they covered this Trinidad waiver, they're saying, well, he's out now. Like the national media they're not very good at their job. They're just not very good at their job. One of the big guys, I can't remember who it was, maybe Pete Thamel, I don't know. He tweeted out a thing about Trinidad's waiver being denied, and he had a picture of Austin Simmons in the caption on the story. So, they're just not, like I said, they're just not very good at their jobs, and everybody with a half a brain knows we still got a big court hearing coming up. Not the national media. And the way they cover this Clemson stuff, too. Ole Miss was the most tampered with team in the entire country, and it wasn't even close. Nobody batted a freaking eye. And Ole Miss flips a 3 or 4 star linebacker from Clemson who had not signed any kind of like NIL contract or anything. And the national media is acting like it's the end of the freaking world. I'm sorry, I got a little riled up right there. But, like I said, get together and fix all that NCAA stuff. And one thing, too, they ruined National Signing Day. National Signing Day was yesterday. That used to be like Christmas morning for college football fans. Now it's nothing. They got everything so stretched out. I wish they could also come back and get that kind of that National Signing Day stuff back the way it used to be, like the waking up and all the drama and who's going to sign with your school, who's going to flip at the last second. And there's some big days. I love the old National Signing Days. I wish they could somehow get that back, but the NCAA's suck, so don't hold your breath. By the way, another big shout out to David Johnson and Ole Miss 365 for putting us on and retweeting our stuff and put us on the website and all that. And hey, if you look, it's the fastest growing Ole Miss website there is. It's getting better and better. The writing and the stories and the podcast that we have over there is good. It's only going to get better. And kind of leading into Oxford, the city of Oxford. The ice storm was bad, folks. I was over there probably a week and a half ago. And they said then it was going to be 7 to 10 days before people got their power back on. I laughed. I didn't laugh, but I was like, there's no way they're going to get everybody's power back on over here within 7 to 10 days. There was lines and poles all down the city streets and the side streets. So if it's like that in the middle of the town, just imagine what's like on the outskirts or out in the county. Like there's still a lot of people going without over there. And I'm not going to name all these restaurants because I don't want to leave anybody out. But just about every local Oxford restaurant and business has been getting people food, giving people hot meals, just helping out any way they can. My tip of the cap to the city of Oxford and the people. Of course, you knew that's how we are. That's how we operate. We're going to always come together. It really is Ole Miss versus everybody. Another thing too. Shout out to Mike Fitzsimmons. His David Johnson's big buddy. With him a podcast together on Ole Miss 365, and he's a former Rebel great. Played back in the '80s for Ole Miss. Anyway, he has done a lot of volunteering and stuff for the storm and all that, and he retweets all this stuff and gets the information out to people. And I know that this was 3 or 4 days ago. I saw somebody asked him how many meals or something he distributed or helped distribute, and he said about 5,000, and that was, like I said, several days ago. So shout out to Mike Fitzsimmons, and shout out to everybody. Like I said, all the volunteers that have been helping in Oxford and around town, and donate to the Samaritan's Purse. They're on the ground over there, and they're going to help any way they can. Shout out to the city of Oxford, like I said. Look, it'll be back to normal over there before long. But hey, I'm telling you, it really was bad. I described it as a hurricane or a tornado came through on every street, along with ice. That's what it's like in Oxford. It was bad enough here in Pontotoc where we live, but it was I think it was 10 times worse in Oxford. But like I said, we're all coming together and helping each other, and things will be back to normal before you know it. Let's see what else we're going to talk about tonight. Touch on some Rebel hoops. The women are playing right now in a close game against Alabama. It was a 5-point game when I sat down to do this podcast in the third quarter. I don't have my phone on me tonight, so I really don't know what's going on. But Coach O has a damn good team. The SEC is very good, and women's this year especially. I think there's 4 or 5 SEC teams in the top 10. There's 9 or 10 teams ranked in the top 25. Ole Miss is in there, I think, at 13th, maybe 15th. I can't really remember. But it's going to get tough for Coach O and the girls, the ladies. They got at 21, number 21 Bama right now. Then it's at number 16 Kentucky. Then we got Tennessee, top 10 Tennessee. Number 5 LSU. And then a game or two after the LSU game, we got at number 2 or number 3 South Carolina. So it's about to get real, Coach O has a Elite 8, Final 4 caliber team. She's going. I think they'll just have to find a way to win their share of games here down the stretch in the SEC to get a 2 or 3 seed in the tournament. I think they'll do it. And look, tip of the cap to Coach O. She's built a winner. She took over a complete dumpster fire. and she's built that program up. She's gotten better and better and better and better every year. She's coming off back-to-back Sweet 16 tournament appearances, and she's going to take that next step sooner or later. Kind of touching on the men too. Look, first and foremost, I've been saying I'm a big Chris Beard fan. I think he's the best coach on campus that we have in any sport. I think he's one of the top 5 coaches in the country. He's the best basketball coach we've ever had. He's got 16 NCAA tournament wins, been to multiple Final Fours, been to a national championship game, and almost won it. He's won 16, like I said, 16 NCAA tournament games. Ole Miss us as a school, we probably only ever won 6 total. He's taken 4 teams to the tournament. And look, these coaches are getting paid a boatload of money. He deserves some criticism, sure, but being realistic, you're not going to have a good year in, year out in this transfer portal era. Because in basketball, you miss on 1 or 2 evals, and it's not going to go well. And we lost all but 1 starter off of last year's team. And that 1 starter, I hate to say it, Malik Dia, he's one of the highest paid players in the SEC, and he makes you scratch your head, that's all I'm going to say. But, see, next year, I like our good young talent, high school talent that Beers got or has signed. So we're not going to have to hit the portal near as heavy next year. But I'm telling you right now, Chris Beard will get this fixed. I know this is eating at him. He's a Bobby Knight disciple. I know losing just eats him alive. And he will fix this, and we'll be back stronger than ever next year. And, this team's got some talent. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for us to get hot and make a run in the SEC tournament or something, but I hope he's got a plan to fix it. I know he's got a plan to fix it. He's one of the best coaches in America, and he'll get it solved. Like I said, like our young high school talent too, so the portal shouldn't be that big of a priority next year. Let's see, we've talked about everything, just about it. Like I said, going to be transitioning into baseball starting next week. Been having a pretty good gambling year so far. Going back to last year, I hit about 61% in college football this year. I'm about 50%. I'm about 50-50 in college basketball so far. Not very good. I haven't been doing very good at college basketball lately. I have a system. It works on some sports that don't work on. I'm 31-19 NHL betting this year, 62%. That's pretty good. NFL, I was a little less than 500 this year against the spread. But when I started betting prop bets, and I went 19-9 on prop bets. But the NBA system, I've been betting it this year. In the past 2 years, this hits about a little under 80% as a whole for the past 2 years, and that's all documented too. Look, I don't know your bankroll. You don't know my bankroll. I don't bet big on these games. I just bet not very much money. But I enjoy doing it. It's fun, and I like giving picks out. Like and subscribe. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe. We're up on all platforms: Apple, Spotify, Facebook. Literally any social media platform, we're up on it. And like and subscribe us on like and subscribe to us on YouTube. It's free. It helps us grow the page and get the word out and all that stuff. And we got some big things coming up here, folks. I'm excited. We're excited. Gonna start doing some more live shows. Gonna be doing some hopefully in Oxford during football season. Gonna be doing some live at local establishment coming up here soon in Pontotoc on one night a week. So we got some big announcements coming up, and thanks to all the listeners, the sponsors. Continue to keep listening. We've been growing just here little by little, and we're having fun doing it too. So, love you all. Thank you all. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Gonna cook a lot of stuff. I'm thinking about smoking some ribs or something for the Super Bowl too. So I'll be posting all that. Send me in your stuff. Oh yeah, one more thing. We're gonna be doing some Super Bowl squares, and I put all that information out on Facebook and Twitter, so you'll see that. I think I've talked about everything I'm going to talk about tonight. Appreciate y'all tuning in, listening. This will be up tomorrow. Hotty toddy, thank you.
This has been a Where You Media production. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a comment. What's your sentiment?